Ecological Radio Collective.
Good afternoon, listeners. You're tuned in to 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. This is Eco Radio, Australia's longest-running peace and environment radio show, probably. I'm taking over your middle of the day, middle of the week, end of the month airwaves. My name is Dave. My pronouns are he, him. And I want to start off by acknowledging and paying my respects to the custodians on the country in which we broadcast. We're located in the city Mungajin, or Mianjin, on Turrbal Yagara Yugabal land. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are listening in today. Our radio waves reach Cubby Cubby and Unibara country in the north, Waka Waka country in the west. In the east, we pay our respects to the Quandamooka people, and down south we reach the Commonwealth, Nagaragwal, Mununjali, Wanjerabara, Yugambeh and Bunjalung countries. Thank you to No Idea for all the ideas. Unfortunately, I do love bananas. They're one of my favourites. But today on the show, there's so much happening in our local environment. We are going to be talking to Una Sandeman about the destruction of koala habitat in the Redlands, as Ormiston College has been given approval to start felling koala trees so that college could add another oval to their collection. So we're going to be talking about the ongoing destruction and local actions against that. I will also play a series of interviews I did while enjoying Victoria Park Barrambin on the weekend. I talked to Stéphane Guillou, who organised a bioblitz. CJ from Locked In participated in the bioblitz with me, and Jimmy Southwood ran a boomerang throwing workshop and talked to me about the spring system underneath the park. So all that is coming up. But first, let's kick everything off. It was National Sorry Day yesterday, so I'd like to play this song. This is by Dan Sultan. It's called Rosalind. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio. On the line now, I have Una Sandeman, a concerned local of the Redlands. Una, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So can we start off with the other day, the 21st of May, Deputy Premier Jared Blay gave Ormiston College the green light to clear koala habitat. What happened after that?
So after that, we had a rally and just basically saying we're actually still here. And I guess why we're still here is because the community advocacy does not end with a decision. We believe the environmental impacts and scientific evidence still warrant public scrutiny and discussion, and particularly when you get one ecological assessment, that's not enough for a site of this significance. And decisions of this scale, they really, they should be rigorous, independent and transparent assessment. So that's why we had been asking for an EPBC referral for months. And of course, it was up to Ormiston College to actually put that referral through, but they chose not to.
Yeah, so Ormiston College Principal Michael Hornby told the ABC this morning that their ecological report states that the area they are clearing is low usage area and not koala habitat. What is your response to that?
My response to that is that the state government a long time ago had listed this area as core koala habitat. So these protections, they exist for a reason. They don't just make an area that without having a reason. So there's evidence that shows koalas do not simply move through this area. They use these trees. There's data and observations demonstrated, from locals and from universities and from the local council have spent millions of dollars on koala research. And that research seems to have been ignored by this college. The university I'd say it's over 6 years that universities have been involved in Redlands research on koalas, and a lot in Ormiston. It's a significant area for koalas and around the college here. I don't understand why the college would not have used that data to actually see these koalas moving through this area, staying in the area. They're so big on innovation and technology. Well, let me say this. The universities and the council people with scientists with PhDs, and that they use modern technology to actually find these koalas in the area. So, it's not, they may say that we're lying. We're not actually lying about the number of koalas here. They're actually here. And, I guess what I want to say, Dave, is if the land is protected as a core koala habitat and then can be cleared like we've seen the destruction in the last 3 days, and there's evidence that koalas actually use it, then what protections do the koalas actually have? Our iconic species, endangered species, on the threatened species list, what chance do they have if this can happen with all these things? It's just, I'm down at the college at the moment, just getting photos and things, and I do believe that the principal also said something along the lines, and I may be wrong, somebody just messaged me, that he said the koala that was spotted in the grounds where they were clearing the trees was lost.
Oh.
No, that koala was not lost. That koala is probably the young koala that I've been photographing last week in the area. And for those who don't believe me, technology is a great thing now. Our phones actually state the location, the time, all that sort of thing. So I don't need to tell any lies about koalas. People can say whatever they want to say about my photos, but I've got all that evidence, as well as we have koalas that are tracked in the area. So,
yeah, can we talk
yeah.
about the clearing over the last 3 days? Ormiston College said that the clearing would be staged and selective. Can you tell us about what's actually happening on the ground?
On the ground, they came in Saturday morning, put a fence right around the property so we couldn't see in, and we can't see over. No, I'm not that tall, 5'4", but I can't see over. But they came in Monday, brought all the machinery in and started cutting down the trees. This is around the oval area. I can tell you now, all those trees have been cut down. They're gone. And the issue that we had yesterday was that they actually cut a tree down beside the tree where a koala was in, up the top. And obviously they hadn't spotted the koala until they cut the tree down next to it. But they didn't straight away put a barrier up. They kept working around it. So that's actually not legal.
Right.
And, they put tags on the tree to say it was there. But it wasn't until, as people have probably heard, and we didn't know this was happening, that somebody actually got over the fence and went in and stood under the tree, and that's when they stopped the works.
Right.
That's when the works actually stopped. And that was after that they put the barrier up. And if people are not going to believe us, other people have video evidence, and that's what people have been doing. So our concern is that there weren't enough spotters, or the spotters, she obviously missed seeing this koala, didn't check out all the trees. And what other expert koala people are saying is that they could use each morning a thermal drone, to find out where this wildlife is,
Yeah, that's best practice.
No, well, they don't.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until yesterday that a koala was spotted and they actually stopped works when somebody ran onto the job site, I guess, or the koala habitat to stop that.
That's what happened. And they only stopped working when she actually ran in there, and then she got arrested, of course, which she did break the law. I'm not condoning that.
So what is happening today? Is works continued?
Today, what happened was they came in, they looked up the tree where the koala had been yesterday, about 3 of them, but one koala spotter and a couple of other workers looked up the tree, decided there was no koala in that particular tree, and then they went along and cut down the tree, went ahead and cut down the tree. So that's what happened today, and they just put a barrier up, so they've cleared all the area that they're using for the oval area, for the ovals.
Okay.
It's been cleared in 3 days, all those trees. So we actually called out to the spotter yesterday to say there's a possum tray in one of the trees.
Mm.
And so then they sort of lower the tree down a bit more gently just to make sure that if there's one in there, I'm not sure what they do with it. It just gets away. But
yeah, that's a good point that the koalas, maybe rightfully so, get the bulk of the attention, but there is other wildlife in the area.
Okay, so yesterday they cut down a massive gum tree. I don't know how old. I'm not an expert on how old trees are, but probably could be anything from 70 to 100 years old. Cut it down, and that's one of the trees where lorikeets used to nest.
Mm.
So that's gone. So today, there's just a little narrow corridor of trees left around this big tree, and we've just heard hundreds and hundreds of lorikeets, probably birds trying to find their homes. There'll be other creatures trying to find their homes. So a suggestion we would like to put forward is that maybe they need to put some possum boxes up, bird boxes, because they've lost half of their homes.
Yeah, well, the Ormiston College principal also said that they would be cutting down 50 trees and planting 500. So I guess in 100 years, those lorikeets will be able to find a home there.
I don't think I think they've cut more than 50 trees. But anyway, we would like to know, because they're planting the trees on the property. And what some people have been asking is, where are you actually going to plant those trees?
Mm.
But where on the property are they getting planted? I mean, I think that's a fair question.
Mm.
Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any reports about, where the revegetation will be happening or anything.
Yeah, and the other really important thing is that what are the trees that they're actually planting? Because the Australian National University has been doing a project in Redlands, and it's around koala trees, and it's about looking at the nutritional value of the gum trees, and they've been propagating those ones that are more nutritional and planting. So ironically, on Monday, I was out at Mount Cotton helping plant 500 of these gourmet gum trees while they were cutting down all these trees at Ormiston College.
Mm.
And I thought, that is crazy. But what I am getting at is that, have they actually had any contact with any of the universities, with the council, to say, oh, well, maybe we should be planting some of those trees? Maybe they have. I don't know. But I don't think Ormiston has a lot to do. Ormiston College has a lot to do with the university research or the Indigenous koala research people, because what's really important to know around this area, especially up Sturgeon Street, one of the university or a couple of the universities, that's a big research area. That's right where Ormiston College is.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be researching in an area where there's no koalas, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. What is the plan? So have works finished on that site?
No.
Okay.
No, they haven't finished, and we don't really know. We think that what's happened is basically it's the Delancey Street gate where they've gone in and cleared a lot of trees, but we have a feeling that maybe this week, tomorrow if it's fine, or Friday, they will work down on Dundas Street where the early learning part of the new project is going to happen, and so there'll be a lot more trees cut down there. in the very near future.
Right, yeah. So there's another area that will become cleared.
Yes, there is. There's more trees to come down.
So are you able to tell us about what future plans you guys have as concerned locals to protest this, or what other people can get involved in?
Yeah, so anyway, at the moment we're just tagging like a bit of a roster. People are down at the site just getting evidence, what's going on, and maybe all we're trying to do is make sure that the spotters are there, that sort of thing. There's not a lot else that we can actually do down here. It's really hard to see it, but also we're looking out for koalas.
Yep.
If there's any koalas. At the moment, there is a koala on the other side of the road who has spent so much time in the last 12 months within this bushland and around the area, and we're concerned she'll try and cross the road because she has a pouch joey, so we are concerned about that. But we will probably have a couple more rallies. It's just really making people aware. This is what's happened, and I suppose looking forward, we want to see, I guess, what we can do so it doesn't happen. So look at the whole process for the MID, how this happened, how it didn't have to have a referral because it's such a significant bit of bushland. We want to know how this happens in 2026. Are our laws getting stronger or weaker? It's really...
Especially as koalas are considered endangered in Queensland.
Oh, my God, that's it. Yeah, they're endangered, but it doesn't mean anything. That's exactly what I said. If you can cut down core koala habitat, what does it mean, this endangered species? And really, ironically, Andrew Powell, the Environment Minister, said just in December, announced he would leave no stone unturned. And koala's part of us. For the new, they're getting new koala policies. Well, what the hell? It's May. It's May and we're cutting down all these trees. And one had a koala in it, which, no, the koala was not lost. It's its home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is very frustrating. But I guess going forward, we can actually just try and be more stronger for the koalas. Like, personally, I feel like I've let them down, because I've lived here for over 30 years, taken photos and seen them. I've had them on the back fence. But I couldn't do anything to save these poor things, It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Well, I think you're doing great, Una, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
That's okay. Thank you for the call.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was Una Sandeman, concerned local, who's protesting the destruction of core koala habitat by Ormiston College.
They tried to bury me. They didn't realise I was a seed.
You're listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future.
Hey folks, you're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio, and I just played Cuckoo Coco with another episode. Before that was Sophie Nishizawa with Our Room, and we also got a subscriber. A big thank you to Nathan from Kedron, possibly a holdover from the No Idea show before us, but it's well appreciated either way. If you want to become a subscriber to 4ZZZ, you can go to 4zzz.org.au/support, and you can subscribe for as little as $25 or $40 for a concession. And if if $40 is all you got, then we don't check IDs, so we're not the cops. You can become part of the family that way. go to 4zzz.org.au/support and subscribe. This monthly subscriber prize is $200 from Thrill House Tattoo. That will go towards your next big sleeve or back piece, whatever you like. Or you could do a little 4ZZZ tattoo. That would be all right. It'll join all the rest of the 4ZZZ tattoos going around Brisbane. Let's continue on with the show. Last Saturday, I went over to Barrambin for a day of park enjoyment. In the morning, we did a bioblitz, and I had a good time walking around with CJ from Locked In. We took the time to find the little things, little bugs and mushrooms, a few shaggy parasol mushrooms, and Lepista sublacina mushrooms. For the trees, I actually found out that they are a lot of them are tagged and recorded on the Save Victoria Park website. So if you just go up to a tree and look for the metal ID tag, you can find out all you need to know about that tree. What struck me most from walking around, though, was how undulating and hilly the park is. I can't believe that they think this is a good idea for a flat stadium. But I'm going to play some interviews I did with people at the park. I talked to Stéphane Guillou, who organised the bioblitz, CJ, who participated in the bioblitz, and Jimmy Southwood, who I've talked to before on the show, but he was running a boomerang throwing workshop and talked to me about the spring system underneath the park. So let's go into that. This is Eco Radio. First, can you introduce yourself for our listeners?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Stéphane. I work at the University of Queensland in the library. I studied plants back more than 10 years ago, but then I moved into agricultural research and then into technology training. I'm passionate about open source software, open data, activism around protecting nature, green spaces around the city. I'm really interested in urban biodiversity. And originally I'm from France with roots in Peru as well. So I am an immigrant here, but I've been in Australia living here for about 14 years. Yeah, that's it.
And what are we doing here today?
So I organised a bit of an event here along with Save Victoria Park Barrambin. I reached out to see if they were interested in organising an event to record biodiversity data around Barrambin Victoria Park to make sure that we've got enough data to keep the government, the council and GCA accountable when it comes to protecting what we have here, what lives here, and also what the potential is for such a large green space, inner city green space. It's our biggest inner city park currently, and it's a big shame to see it taken away, potentially being developed.
Why is it important to have green spaces like this?
So I think there's a few aspects to it. For me, how I see it is when we talk about biodiversity, we've already destroyed quite a lot of green space in our urban areas. We've encroached on them, and we've also broken down the kind of the connection between different green spaces, between different patches of bushland. So these spaces are really important to keep some of the species going that are still surviving here, and I don't think we can afford losing more of that. It's really important for us, as humans as well, to be able to go for a break into a green space and kind of have a bit of a breather. There's research that shows that for mental health, being in trees, being in the middle of plants is super beneficial. And in our cities, if we lose that, then we have to go further away to find it. We can't do it as regularly. And so also for our own health, we need that. It's mental health, it's also our general health with pollution. Those buckets of green space allow us to find an area where we don't have to necessarily breathe as much fumes, and just kind of slow down and enjoy a bit of nature around us. So there's a lot of aspects to it, and they're all interconnected. So I don't think we can afford to lose more of that. I'm particularly interested in the role of the trees, some of the massive trees that are here, where we've got tree hollows that can't easily be replaced. It's going to be a big loss if we're going to have to cut those trees down. It's tree hollows for mammals as well as birds, and on a tree there's just so much happening. One of those massive trees, lovely gum trees around. But there's also really nice pockets of kind of regenerated bushland, some that are more garden-sized, some that are a bit more extensive. There's on the other side of the railway, close to the swimming pool. There's some areas that have a bit of bush and trees, scrub and trees, that have a lot of potential. And on this side as well, a few pockets of revegetated areas that I think are great to explore.
All right, thank you very much.
No worries, pleasure.
So, Siege, what are we doing here?
So we are doing a little iNaturalist, well, little's probably the wrong word, a big iNaturalist bioblitz today. So there's about 30 or so people, and we have gathered at Barrambin today. We're using the iNaturalist app to do some citizen science. There's an area in the centre that has been marked in the suggested plans for the stadium. Sorry, we're not supposed to be using the word plans, or correct my language there. It's the suggested ideas for the stadium. We're being led to believe that there is already plans and that there's already approvals to go ahead. There simply isn't. They are still in ideas stage, throwing out ideas to see what we will tolerate as a community. So today we have people everywhere documenting the trees. There are incredible birds just flying around. We've got some rosellas in the hollows of these old trees. We have finches flying in circles around us. And we've just discovered two mycelium circles with two different mushrooms growing in them. So trying to show the biodiversity that exists in this incredible inland, inner city park space that we have here.
Yeah, because sort of detractors of Victoria Park Barrambin call it a former dump site, a former golf course, not worth revegetating.
Yeah, look, everything was formerly something, wasn't it? And before it was a dump site, it was a whole lot of things before that. So I think it's really interesting that detractors will use history to prove a point on one side while completely wiping out all of the other history that came before that. You're right, it was a dump site, and what that actually does is makes this an incredible fertile space for us to rewild. Or another word that I heard a while ago that I'd love for us to bring into our language is to re-indigenise. This space had incredible historical significance. I won't speak to it because the voices of the descendants have spoken to that. You can hear that if you want to go and listen. You've heard DJ interviewed on Culture Vultures and Indigibriz bringing you those stories. So please, if you can, go and listen. The history is a lot longer than a garbage dump. But if we actually listen to lore, L-O-R-E, we can turn the fertility of that garbage dump all the way back to what was here before that garbage dump.
And what do you hope for the future of this park?
What I hope for is something that was close to what we already did as a community years ago, where we fought to get this space taken off the wealthy. Those who could afford to have a membership in a golf club were the only ones who were able to use it. You couldn't walk here because you might have got hit by a flying golf ball. So we already did some work as a community. Look, there, you never have full agreement, but we already did work as a community that we wanted to rewild this space, return it back to some of the lagoon areas. This is a natural spring, again. We've heard Mob tell us all of the law around the importance of this area for the water table in Brisbane. So we need to actually treat this like a place that matters to our overall water movement in our city, because it really does. If we start letting more concrete be put in this place, the water has to go somewhere. And with the underground springs here, we've been pushing that water table lower and lower, but with concreting this whole city. What we have to be really careful of is that those floods don't start popping up, that water doesn't start popping up in other areas and flooding other suburbs. If we had some beautiful lagoons here, imagine how beautiful this would be to do what we're doing right now today, but with some of the original waterways restored where these dips of the golf course have been. We know how to do that by following Indigenous law and using all of these incredible technologies white people have apparently invented. Let's do something better than sticking a big concrete water storage container somewhere, which is one of the ideas that's been thrown around. I want to see lagoons. I want to see this space as close to what nature wants it to be as is possible.
Thank you very much. Let's go find some more trees.
Let's go. I can see some rosellas in this hollow of this tree over here, and I think that we need to show just how important old trees are. You can't just replace a 100-year-old tree with a bunch of AI-generated saplings and pretend that it's the same.
All right, let's do it.
So, did you say that one? Sorry. Yeah. Oh, no, the big one. Yeah.
Yes, good morning, Dave. My name's Jimmy Southwood, a member of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community, and I'm very passionate about the importance and the significance of the cultural heritage here at Victoria Park Barrambin.
And you showed me years ago, this is a few years back now, the spring system underneath Kelvin Grove State School. But you know about the spring system here as well. Can you tell me about the spring system here at Barrambin?
Yeah, here at Barrambin, the spring systems are all interconnected. So they're running from Spring Hill, Albert Park, McGaskey Park, through Kelvin Grove State College and into the remnants of what was a lagoon chain that ran through to Nunda, being the home of the waterways and lagoons, and what's left now is York's Hollow.
Yeah, right, that's quite extensive.
It was an amazing, the book was written last year or the year before, which said Brisbane waterways have a city problem.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And I think building on a riverina system like here in Brisbane, obviously covering our and capping our spring systems creates a lot of impact on infrastructure and therefore increases flooding.
Yeah, so can you tell me about the problem that you foresee happening if a stadium was built here?
Well, literally when you create more roof area, hard stand area, you're going to have water that's displaced, and where does it go? Water off the roof is going to impact on our already overworked drainage system, and hard stand surfaces, where does the water go from there?
Yeah, I see like a lot of people saying that this is just a golf course. What do you say to that?
Well, the golf course, it was prepared in the 1870s and 80s with the deforestation and the logging that went on here. So the ancestral trees that are left here now are very significant to our Yuggera traditional owners. And now, when the first surveyors and loggers came through, two of the warriors speared them to death because they considered those trees to be their ancestors. And those two were hanged at the Spring Hill windmill. So these trees are incredibly significant as well.
Yeah, if there's something that you want to leave our listeners with about Barrambin, what would that be?
It would be how important the past and looking back in time to learn from, to impact the present and where we are right now, and then to include what the future looks like for future generations. And that is what we're here in the park to do, to say this is very, very special.
And now you're going to teach me how to throw a boomerang.
Yes, and it'll come back.
Great. You're listening to Eco Radio. My name is Dave, and we're almost finished for the show. But I just want to acknowledge that it's been kind of a destructive week for us in the environmental caring world. You know, we've got endangered koala habitat being destroyed in Redland Bay by a college that gets $13 million from our government, or from us, I guess. I was looking into that, and what they make at Ormiston College from teaching kids is $17 million. So if they're getting almost half, almost the same equivalent by the government, it's not a very sustainable private school then. But that money is going towards cutting down our heritage, which is koala habitat, and then seeing the more endangered koala get more endangered. But I'm sure that the government will bring out the koala for the Olympics as a mascot, and will be happy to take photos with an endangered animal that they're not helping recover. On a lighter note, we have the Bushcare Roundup, and it is a roundup of local environmental and peace events that you can get to, and the sting goes a little something like this.
It's a Bushcare Roundup. They've been pulling out weeds, and then they put in trees. It's the Bushcare Roundup.
And starting off the Bushcare Roundup is tomorrow, the 28th, Thursday, at 7 a.m, early in the morning. You can go to the Oxley Creek Catchment Association Creekcare group. They're meeting at Muriel Avenue in Moorooka. On Friday, the 29th, at 8 o'clock, you can go to the Norman Creek Catchment Coordinating Committee Nursery session. That's in Greenslopes. At 3 o'clock on Friday, you can go to the Growing Forward Kurilpa Commons Working Bee and Potluck. That's 250 Boundary Street, West End. At 9 o'clock, you can go to the Guri Camp Embassy is doing the Fill the Park protests starting on Friday at 9 o'clock. You can go there and join the Camp Embassy, because construction, or at least works, have already begun. Fences have begun to go up. This is early. And on Friday at 1600 at 4 o'clock, you can go to a Not a Done Deal Fridays at the Park. That's run by the Ibis Island Collective. That's at Barrambin as well. On Saturday the 30th at 9 a.m, you can go to the Gertrude Petty Place Bushcare Working Bee. That's in Mount Gravatt. At 2 p.m, you can go to the Parks Over Profit. That's at Ibis Island there again in Barrambin. And at 2 o'clock, you can go to the DCP Greenslopes Bushcare Working Bee. That's Nicholson Street in Greenslopes. On Sunday, however, at 8 o'clock, you can go to the Constellation Way Mass Planting event. and they are asking, if possible, please bring 2 2-litre old milk bottles full of water for plant watering. That's everything I have for you today. We are going to keep you informed about Barrambin, about Victoria Park, and we're going to keep you informed about Ormiston College and their collection of ovals for a very rich private school, which gets a lot of government funding. Marky texted in. Marky, a long-time texter, has said that while he's regenerating, even the weekends now for Norman Creek Catchment Coordinating Committee, you can bag up 4 bags of rubbish at Menippi Parklands behind the Bunnings there. It's great that there's a whole heap of stuff to do every week to help our environment and push back against the developers and the commodifiers, I guess, of our natural wonders. We are going to go out with a song. It's called Wakehole Station by Damien Johnson. And I just want to thank you for listening in today. It's been a bit of a depressing one, but look, that's the environment and peace around our world at the moment. Hopefully we make a change, but I don't know. But thanks so much for listening in today. Stick around for the feedback loop with Imogen and Sophie. They do a great show, great music, I'm excited to see what Smashing Pumpkins song they have to start us off with today. You've been listening to Eco Radio. This has been me, Dave.
Eco Radio. Radical Radio Collective. 4ZZZ.